Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Inspired by You Mindkite podcast. I'm Jamie Kerr, and joining me today, I have an amazing, inspirational guest for you. His name is Ash Edelman, but Aussie to his friends. Welcome, Ash. How are you doing?
Thanks, Jamie. I'm doing really good, mate. Really, really good. Couldn't be happier, actually.
Yeah, listen, it's great to have you on, and I'm instantly jealous of what I can only see as just an idyllic background.
There you go.
Wow. Well, I'm here in the UK. I'm here in the UK, and we're under full lockdown at the minute. And I can see you've got the top off, you've got your muscles out, and you've got that beautiful background. You're in a very nice place, and yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, mate. We're in Copenhagen, in Thailand. So we're over the quiet side of the island, and it's beautiful out here. It's everything. You can wake up in the morning, you have nature around you. Even now, you can hear all the cicadas and everything else going on. It's beautiful. It really is.
Oh, that's brilliant. It looks great. So the reason why I'd actually invited you on to the podcast, our podcast is all about sort of mindset, mental health, and inspiring stories. And I'd been in a couple of rooms on a different app called Clubhouse, and I'd heard you speak, and it takes a lot for me to be inspired, and I was really inspired just by your journey. And I don't even want to spoil it, so I would really love it if you could sort of tell the viewers in your own way about your journey, even as far back as you like to go, but definitely about all the travel and circumstances you've been in.
Okay. It was actually I spoke this story last night on Clubhouse, actually. Well, going back, I think it was 2011. I just left the army. I was in the Australian Army for 5 years, and I kind of had nowhere to go. Like, I spent all my money every fortnight that I got it. Like, I was that guy who literally lived paycheck to paycheck, and I literally had nowhere to go. I managed to get a job in Western Australia. So in the mines, working in the iron ore mines, working on the train lines. So there was like a 3-in-1 roster. I was working for 3 weeks. I had a week off. Like, the money was good. Like, at that age, I think it was about 160,000 Australian in that year. And for someone at the age of 21 who just got out of the army, I was like, oh my God. But I had no idea of money management. Like, I came home for my first week home and said to all my mates, we're going out, I'm paying for everything. I dropped $3,000 in one night. The lady served me behind the bar. Literally, I walked up and asked for a bottle of tequila, and she sold it to me for like $300. So that's how bad I was.
I think I was.
And one of my mates. But that was it. Like, we had to go through that stage. Like, I look back at it now, the shit we got up to. Sorry for swearing. What we got up to was all a part of the learning process. Like, yes, at the time you were going, I wish I kind of didn't do that. But those moments, I look back now and I'm like, I'm so glad I'm not that person anymore. So it's helped me develop. But yeah, I was working in the mines, and my friend kind of saw us going through a bit of troubles with a girl and was like, dude, you need to leave. Like, you need to sell everything you have and go to the UK. He'd lived in the UK a couple of years beforehand. And he's like, you need to try it out. You need some life experience. So I sold everything I had. And I basically got a 2-year visa for the UK, but I went traveling for the first 3 months. So I literally spent all of my money and went home. Like, I went traveling. I did it hard.
Did you spend all this money during the traveling period? Not even.
Oh, yeah. I know. I spent it all. Like, I literally landed in the UK for a night. I think I went out for a weekend, and we jumped straight across to Munich and went to Oktoberfest. Like, I hit every single party place that I could, and it was, again, I needed it. Once I spent my money, I went home kind of like, okay, I'm done. I had a bit of a Bitcoin story because I bought Bitcoin very early, but a lot of it, the company I tried to withdraw with, they actually ended up losing like over $1 billion worth of coin. So I lost a lot of money through it. But I'm thankful, because if I'd kept that money, I was going to go back to Australia, not come back to the UK and start a business.
Right.
Thankfully, my parents were like, no, you're going back. We're not leaving you here. You're not staying here. You need to go because you're not wasting the opportunity.
Yeah.
So I got a job. Well, this is it. I said, if you get a job, we'll pay for your flight. So my mate actually got me a job as a stripper down in Cornwall. Right. And I tell you what, I made about 300 quid in 3 months. It was terrible. Like I made no money
Not
whatsoever.
big money in the stripper game.
In Cornwall, no,
Right,
fuck
right.
all. And it was,
Were you in
and
this
even
condition because you're in great condition? I can see. Is that part of the stripping thing? You know, getting in good condition.
Yep. Yeah. Well, at the start it wasn't. At the start it was just a way to get back over here. But when I moved up to London, I got offered a photo shoot, which was actually a scam, and they charged me 600 quid for some shithouse photos. Sorry again. But those photos got me a job with a group called Forbidden Nights. And when I first joined those guys, I was working 50 quid on the weekend. That's all they had, the only shows I had. But I basically got in there and I wanted to be a part of it because I loved everything these boys were doing. Like, it wasn't just stripping, it was Magic Mike with Cirque du Soleil. It was pure skill mixed with some cheeky dance and all that sort of stuff. And you didn't get everything out. So it was so appealing. And they'd actually said to me, is like, yeah, I'm sorry, we can't take you on. And I was like, dude, I'll work for free. I don't care. Like, I love what you have here. I want to be a part of this because I see something happening. Next thing you know, like, I needed another job. So I started personal training in New Barnet and started trying to make ends meet that way as well. Eventually, I think about 4 months after started working with these guys, they found out I could perform with fire. So they saw me mess around one of the fire staffs. They're like, we didn't know you could do that. So actually, funny enough, about 2 weeks later, their fire performer left.
Right.
So I went from setting up chairs and hosting to learning how to dance. Now, I'm a rugby player. I have 2 left feet. I can sidestep like anyone. But the second you put me on stage to do choreography in front of people, I am going to freeze. And I did. I was freaked out, but it took me a while to get used to it. Now, the stage is my home. The stage is a place that I feel so comfortable and passionate. And
could you tell me a little bit about that journey? Just, I think like you really underplayed that there, because I've seen some of your videos and some of your performance, and anybody that watches or listens to this, you know, go and check Ash out on his socials and see some of those sort of performances. And you're saying that you had the 2 left feet and stuff like that, or you only knew the basic side step, but then you learned that. So you tell me a little bit about that process and the sort of mindset that got you to be the good performer that I've seen you are now.
Okay, so it took me 3 weeks to learn the chorus of a routine. Like, this is how bad it was. It was 3 weeks. I think I did 5 hours a week, and it was horrible because I couldn't dance. And my choreographer, he saw the want that I had for it. So we'd choreograph it, we'd film it, and I would go home and I'd rehearse in the shower. My brother used to live with me in the UK. He'd catch me rehearsing in the bedroom. Like, any chance that I had in the gym in between a set is I'd be going through the motion. Like, the only music I'd ever listened to through that point in time was what was going on for the show. Like, I immersed myself in it because I came from Australia. I had no idea I had no family. I had nowhere to fall back on. Like, I was literally living on a mate's couch at this point in time in Finchley and trying to find a place. And it was crazy because it was all or nothing for me.
Yeah.
Like, now, if I'm honest, going back, you asking me this question is that kind of realization of, oh shit, you have done a lot. Like, I'm one of those people, yes, I've done a lot, but it doesn't register. It's only these moments where I go, wow.
And
like,
I think that's why I'm doing this sort of stuff, because it's important that I think that, like, when I hear someone and they speak inspirationally and inspire me like your story has, I thought I need to get that out and tease these parts out, because it's not just good for the audience, but it's also good for yourself to actually realize, without all that risk, you wouldn't have had all the reward that I've heard about and seen now. So I think it's really important to understand, all of us as humans, we need to understand our journey,
Yeah, 100%. This is the thing. Those things, from being in the army and learning discipline the way I have, it's helped me in other aspects of my life. So when it comes down to that, when I get focused on something, I will focus. I will stay on that and I will do it. Just like rehearsing, because that was it. I was like, we were on Britain's Got Talent. This is the thing. We were on Britain's Got Talent in 2014, I think it was. We came on as crew, then surprised everyone, took our shirts off and basically stripped on stage.
Right.
Like, that was about 2 months into learning to dance, and that was the biggest stage I've ever been on. That was 2,500 people, the judges and cameras. Like, it was insane to be on that stage. And from that is I learned quickly. I started really finding my feet to it. And then I actually started bodybuilding. One guy met me in the gym and he was like, mate, you've got a great physique. You should do bodybuilding. So I jumped in, I started doing it. Went through my first prep and I didn't realize how I'd be on stage. But having Forbidden Nights, being how comfortable it taught me to be on stage, to be shirtless in front of people and to be cheeky on stage has helped me in bodybuilding.
Yeah,
I've been able to go on stage and like I met a guy on Clubhouse who's become one of my best friends. He saw me compete about 3 years ago, and he said the one thing that drew him to me on stage was the fact is I step on stage and it's mine. I don't care. I'm there to own that stage, and that was it. He goes, you had it on stage. You had great physiques around you, but your performance held it all. And it's when I hear things like that, that's like, okay, that's where my passion, like, well, obviously with COVID, due to COVID, that's where my passion used to lie. That was everything.
Would you like to break into that a little bit about the bodybuilding? Because I mean, I go to the gym and I just do some sort of normal workouts, and I do a lot of physical boxing and things like that. And I really admire and respect, bodybuilders and the mindset behind bodybuilding and what it actually takes, with the diet and the training. But there's another side to it. Like you mentioned the competitions, and I see there's people that go in my gym and they're in the studio more than they're on the weights, and they're practicing their poses and their breathing and things like that. And I'm just wondering if you could sort of elaborate a little bit, because that's a side that people don't really understand. There's a whole performance aspect to what you do.
Yeah, well, this is it. It's you look at it like a work of art. So I used to compete in muscle model, and the good thing with muscle model is I could have the flowiness of a physique, but I could also have the rigidness of a bodybuilder. So I was kind of that weird place in the middle, and it allowed me to then take my own performance from Forbidden on the stage to show what I could actually do. But you have to make it all blend. Like you can hit a pose, bang, bang, whatever it may be, but that's position in between, that transition is everything. It's the slowness, it's the drama, the dramatic side of it. It is how you feel, but how comfortable and confident you feel in the moment you're doing it, which then people then are able to feel that because you're owning that no matter what. Even if you mess it up, you don't stop and you just have fun with it. Like this is it. Everything we do should be fun. And if you can have fun in that sort of stuff and enjoy it, it's amazing. But it takes hours. Like you could be standing in front of in a studio for an hour, 2 hours a day doing one simple transition. Like it's not going to look right here. It's not going to look that right there. You got to get up. You got to film it. You got to take different angles. You got to do everything to make sure it works. But that can all get blown when you step on that stage because, unfortunately, a lot of people they get the excitement for it, but they haven't had the chance to be in that position on stage. So they go deer in headlights.
Yeah.
Like you've worked 12 weeks. You've put yourself through so much torment with like mentally, physically, like temptations. You've gone through all of this, and the last 6, 7, even 10 days can be the absolute hardest where people break. And you see that on stage regularly. People will get there and they will deer in headlights and freeze up. So it's putting that time in, being comfortable with your posing, with your routine, and understanding that you've got this. Like people are there to watch you. People are there to appreciate what you've done over this point in time. It only damages yourself by self-sabotage and going into that going, oh no, I don't want to mess it up. I don't want to mess it up. I can own it. Own everything you do when you step on stage.
What sort of tips do you have for, that sort of incident, like a deer in the headlights? What would you say to try and sort of counter that? Not once it's happened, but to try and prevent it from happening? Because I've seen some of your performances and you come across very confident with it,
Yeah, I think at the start, I used to do a thing called, it's a bee buzzing breath. So it's called Brahmari Pranayam. And it's like, it helps trigger the parasympathetic nervous system to help you calm down. So by going through and doing a breathing exercise before you step on stage, and even just standing backstage and just talking to everyone that's around, if you've got that vibe, because this is the thing, a lot of people look at bodybuilders and go, you're those kind of people. It's like, everyone is so friendly. I'm standing backstage with everyone, jumping around, having a laugh with people, like about to step on stage. It's going to be great. And I'm just having a ball with it. And I do that to try and help other people feel a lot more comfortable and relaxed, know that there's someone who's absolute stupid going on stage about to have fun with it. Like if I can help give people that confidence, that's amazing. And it has. At last show, I think the last show I did in Poland, the guy came up to me and he was like, "Mate, you helped me so much." He was peeking, standing right behind me, and I stood around, gave him a bit of a pep talk, and slapped him on the arms, and he actually won. He actually beat me, and I was like, fair play. So it worked.
Yeah, I think that's like similar to the story with like Ronnie Coleman the night before one of his big competitions that he'd won, and he was given a slice of pizza and a couple of shots of vodka. And I think the alcohol would stripped him right down, and he went on to, I think, win 6 after that. You know.
Yeah, him and Kevin Larone, that was one.
Yeah, so
but that's it. Is having that looseness, having that flow of you when you're on stage is perfect. Mate, I have a shot like that before I step on stage. I have a shot before I step on stage. I don't even drink, but it just helps you kind of just
central yourself
before you go on.
No, listen, it's absolutely fantastic. Some of your performances, and what do you think your sort of best experiences have been from sort of competing so far? Because I know you're probably still going to do more, are you?
Yeah, so I'm actually so I'm with my new coach at the moment. We're doing my first ever bulk. This is the thing, I've never been able to bulk because of the show. I had to always be in shape. So now I've got myself to the leanest and the heaviest I've been so far, which I'm about 98 kilos. But yeah, we're looking to compete probably Q4. So anytime end of August towards the end of the year, really. Because my goal, I've got my eyes on a 2022 Olympia invite, which means I've got a process. I've got to literally get a pro card. Sorry, either do an amateur Olympia and then get the pro card that way, and then compete for a pro show that's offering the invite, or go the way of regional or this stuff. Either way, I could be doing 2 or 3, maybe more, because I've got my fire back for it. My fire fell off a little bit after my whole visa problem, going back about 2 years ago. That's a story on its own. I lost a lot of weight through it. I lost about 10 kilos just due to stress, and I took some time off. And I was only doing the competitions last year. And not only that, my wife came up to me and was like, she saw me get off stage, and she was like, nah, you're doing another one. You're going again. And to see the support that I've got from her behind me to do it has really fired me the hell up. So I will go anywhere I have to this year to get that pro card and to get that invite.
And just for anybody watching this, the Olympia is one of the biggest competitions in the world for bodybuilding. Would I be right in saying that?
Yeah. The Olympics of bodybuilding.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So obviously there's a lot of education that comes with that, your diet and things like that. How do you prepare for that sort of mentally, and how do you educate yourself and all that sort of stuff?
Well, for myself, as I said, I'm a coach, so I kind of fell into that from a very young age. Really just kind of for the fact of playing sport that I thoroughly enjoyed it. But I'd say for people that want the information and the people that want to make the change, hire a coach. My God, hire a coach. The reason why I say that is because there is so much bro science, there's so much nonsense on there that today, like I was watching something for an argument that I thought would have gone away. Carbs are the cause of obesity. I would have thought that was something that has been squashed because there's so much science out behind it, yet it's something that popped up again today and everyone's been raving about it. So you've got so many people out there that are giving you this misinformation that go to one person, research that one person, look at how, if you gel with them, whatever it is, and go to one person, get that solid bit of information, because that gets rid of decision fatigue. That gets rid of any error that could come from any multiple different things. If you're getting training advice from one guy, you're getting nutrition advice from the other guy, you're buying supplements because the guy told you need to take all these, yet you don't know what's actually working. Like you could actually get a very good physique with food and training, just the right amount specific to you, calculated, watched, regulated, tracked, all of that stuff. But if you don't know how to do that, you're just kind of going in there pissing in the wind, hoping that you're going to do something about it.
Yeah, I thought I would ask you that because I've seen some of the work you're doing. I've seen some of the results from your clients, and results,
Yeah.
to me, results speak for themselves. You know, no matter what industry you're in, your results talk a language you don't even need to say, you know.
Exactly. And this is I'm a no bullshit sort of trainer. I'm there, I'm empathetic. Like, it's like, okay, I understand this. Like, people are human. Things happen in life and things have to change. Diet meals have to be missed. I mean, if it was someone competing, be a different story. But for regular clients, everyone is human. So you have to have that empathetic side. But I won't mollycoddle. I will literally tell it to you straight is, I can't be doing this because people go, I don't get up until 7, so I don't have time. Get up at fucking 6. If you want this goal, if it means that to you, you get up at 6. Like, it's these things that people, we're the easiest person to lie to. We're the easiest person to say, oh, I'm going to do this tomorrow, and it never happens. If you become, this is the biggest thing that I learned after COVID, after performing went, after all of that went, is I had to then move my entire business online and basically start again, because all of my clients wanted people from the that were face to face. So I've had to start again.
I was going to ask you about that. How did you manage to, you know, maneuver from personal, you know, training and coaching into that sort of, to deal with the pandemic and pivoting and adjusting?
Yeah.
And how did you manage to do that? And what was your process there?
It was just, we weren't given any option. It was 6 weeks. 6 weeks we partied every weekend, and we were like, this clearly isn't going away. So what do we do? So I actually took to trading for ages, trying to work on forex trading, and I've got something now which works nicely, which is good. But it was, my passion is coaching, my passion is PT, my passion is changing people's lives. So I was like, I need to be able to do this. So I've got my coach. Like, my wife has helped me with so much, change my business model from what I was to where I am now. And this is the thing, she changed her job as well. She's gone from managing an entertainment agency to now literally changing lives as a career change coach, like, and absolutely killing it. So she's helped me increase my business, which has been absolutely insane. And again, now that's helped us, like, where we are now, where we're able to sit here. I can do my work through the day. I can go around the island. I can then, like, we went shooting content today to put on YouTube and other stuff. Like, it's nice.
I've seen a picture of Thailand today, and I was just so jealous. Can you tell me about, you speak about your wife, and I can see you've got so much passion, and I've heard you speak about your wife previous, and I'd just like to go back to the sort of travel and then meeting your wife and how you moved forward there. Obviously, you know, you had to meet at some point, and that was part of the traveling.
Oh no, 1 sec. Sorry, you literally just froze, mate. You literally just froze. Apologies for that.
Yeah, what I was saying was, I see you speak really passionately, you know, about your wife, who you're with now out in Thailand, and I just want to go back to the travel and the sort of point where you've kind of met your wife, and we're going to that sort of story. I think that's a really key part of who you've become.
Yeah,
probably, you know.
Mate, I tell you what, I heard this thing going back years ago. Actually, I think it was Maria said to me, there's a thing called first love, second love, and third love. And your first love is basically when you're a kid, you don't know what love is. You have that crush on that girl around the corner, and it's like, oh my God, she's amazing, she's everything, and oh my God, I love this person. When you're a kid, you have no idea what love is. So that's usually your first love. Your second love is that person who you learn from. You learn from the fact of what you don't want in someone. They're the one that gives you the heartbreak. They're the one that really tears you down. They're the ones that change you, but they teach you to know exactly what you want and what you don't want. And the third love is the one that comes that you can't get away from. The one that is absolutely amazing. No matter how hard you try to go, be like, no, it's not going to happen. That's it. Now, don't get me wrong. You can have multiple second loves. You can have multiple first loves. You can have multiple of that. But the premise is, it's that level of growth of finding who you are. And look, me and Maria, she booked me back in 2016, I think it was, on a Bognor Regis job for BP. Me and her became literally best friends that night because we both looked at each other and were like, without saying it to one another, I thought she was out of my league, she thought I was out of her league, and we thought we were just going to be absolute friends because we didn't want to ruin what there was. She got a relationship, I got a relationship with other people, and it was only towards like as soon as my relationship was ending, because this relationship was something that I'd gone into a couple of times, and I tell you what, it broke me quite hard. I really lost who I was, and it was a string of girls that I'd lost who I was, to then have this beautiful woman who's now right steady right there.
I'm documenting you being cute.
Yeah, there you go. She's documenting me being cute. Basically, as soon as I split with her, all I wanted was my friendship back, because it was the one person who I had this incredible friendship with, and she played she played hard to get for a bit and basically didn't message me back for about a week and a half. And then she messaged me, gave me like a 2-word answer. And I was like, we should go for coffee and catch up. I think it was about a month later, we finally went for coffee, but literally it was like we'd only been apart for about a week, because we picked up a conversation that was just like, yo, bro, how you been? What's going on? Like, we're mates. And are you still filming? I was just documenting me being cute. But yes, we became friends. I think one night, we'd always had this tension. We used to go to a place called, what was it? Pix in Portobello, and it was this beautiful little tapas restaurant. And I remember she was telling me a story that happened when she was performing overseas. And I remember there's just tension between us, but none of us did everything. I think I even described something to her and kind of put my hand on the back of her head and gave her hair a little bit of a tug. And I saw the face on her, but I was like, no, this isn't going. I'm not gonna stop it. She's staring at me and just smiling and winking. I love you.
And this is what I mean.
But yeah,
this is lovely. This is why I had to bring this up, because I can see it's such a key part of your growth and who you are now and your energy.
Okay, but look, she has changed me. To me, sex used to be a chore. With every other relationship, it was a chore. It was something that I always told, you're a bodybuilder. Everything you've done is you're the reason why you can't do this. And it was something that was drilled into me by multiple people, and it was brutal. And I remember I almost freaked out trying to have just a face-to-face conversation with her about it, but she made me feel so at ease about what it was. And I tell you what, from now till then, as harsh as this sounds, is I know that I'd never had the issue. It was the fact that I wasn't attracted to the other person because of what that it may be. Now, oh my God, she has helped me become the best version of myself. Like I had a party at my house, basically, and this is before we got together, and she goes, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Me and my brother having a party at mine." And she's like, "I'm in an Uber on the way." And she literally turned up to my house, come running towards me. And that entire night, it was just hanging around each other. Like there was tension there, but nothing happened. And then we literally stayed up into the wee hours of the morning. We ended up ordering. I had something with the right stuff on TV. I had a little phone conversation with him, and then we got up and spent the day cuddling in onesies. We had a rehearsal that night because I had to go perform on Big Brother the following day, and next you know, we kissed, and we haven't been apart since. It was literally that. We had the conversation. We don't want to. Do we do this? We don't want to ruin it. It was like, we're good friends. What do we do? And we did it, and it was the best thing we've done. Like,
take me from your journey from Portobello and London and things like that to well, I mean, you're in Thailand, so there must have been some sort of transition point in between there.
Well, look, when we first got together, that was the year my visa was kind of running out. So what we'd done is we'd gone for a trip to Thailand for my birthday. She'd surprised me after a competition, and I fell in love with this island. She's been here many years. She's been coming here for many years, but I fell in love with this place. So what we did was our first big step as a couple, which we basically moved overseas for 5 months to Thailand together within our first year and being together. Now that was massive because we both go, let's do this. And for her to go, I'm going to come with you. I want to come with you, was massive to me. And we then had my visa. I had to go back to Australia for another 3 months. She then came back to the UK. So we went from living together in a different country to then being apart for 4 months to then finally coming back, and we got married, which was amazing. Like we had a little 300-pound wedding at Brent City Council, and it was the best thing ever. We had our closest friends. My parents flew over. Like it was just this little impromptu wedding, and it was absolutely incredible.
Ruby, I love you.
I love you. I'm getting so passionate about this.
What was your main parts? What was your key factors for? I mean, you've met your one now, and then suddenly you're apart for 4 months. So how did you manage to work that and cope with that, and just give any advice for anyone doing a sort of a long distance relationship?
It was difficult. It was really hard because we'd gone from living in separate houses to literally living together and being together every single day, and you develop that connection. And after we developed that connection, being able to be torn that far apart but know that we were still only fresh in a relationship was difficult, because there were still things that you still go through, little teething issues. And the biggest thing was, no matter what, is neither of us were going to give up. All we had to do was we had to work on what our little teething issues were. And this has been the big development for us. Like, we use an app called Relish. Like, we went through lockdown and we were like, relationship counseling. That's not a bad thing. If anything, that's like every good coach has a coach. Why not, if you want to build your strong relationship, build it stronger. So we use this app called Relish daily, and it helps bring the issues that might be floating around, brings it to the surface, and you can literally have this conversation with each other in a non-threatening way, which has been amazing. And we've been listening, learning everything about relationships and listening to certain people, and coming out every time there's an argument, it's a growth factor from us, because we grow from it. We stop and we've realized certain things, like a state change. What is if things are getting a bit heated? Yeah, I love this. Yeah, if things are getting a bit heated, get upside down, put your butt in the air and do a yoga pose. And if you want to really spice it up, get your butt out. And it's just that, but that breaks the moment of the state change. And just exactly, and that alone, as you stop it, you laugh, you're like, okay, cool, let's talk about this.
And I think people don't value coaching as much as you could. They think coaching is always when you need to fix something, but coaching can actually make great or good great. You know, it can make something even better, next level. And I mean, I've got life coaches, I've got mentors for marketing. I've got coaches for various things because I want to be better and give better. And I think you've hit the nail on the head there, and you just have a nice relationship, clearly, you know.
Yeah, that's it. Is everything we want to do is we know is she's going to be the only one to push me around in a wheelchair when I'm old and I can't wipe my bum, and I'll be the same for her. Yeah.
Okay, is this live?
We is recording, yes.
Fuck. I'm so sorry, but you've got to turn to the left and look at that.
Oh, wow, yeah, have a look at this.
Fucking hell.
Watch out, you're swearing. That's the moon.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, because you're Scottish, I thought swearing would be okay. I'm sorry.
Listen, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. Don't worry about it.
I'm legitimately half Scottish. So that's the only reason why I said
that. Yeah, this is the thing, is we've wanted to build ourselves and work on ourselves. We've both said to each other, we'll always be the people at the end. We just need to build. And this is the thing, we're forever a student in life. We're forever learning. Like, there's no limit to what we can understand and how we can grow with each other. And this is the thing, is no, people don't do this these days. People, I like to call it like the MTV kind of life, is they've seen what Geordie Shore give, they've seen what Love Island do, they've seen these things which show that people, if you're not happy with someone because you have a little argument, let's go kiss someone else or go somewhere else. People are too easy to just knock a bridge down instead of repairing it. People are too easy to throw something away at the first sign of something that, I love this person, but this one thing annoys me. Well, how about you work at that one thing? Because you could literally still have the person you love and also fix an issue. But people want the quick fix. People think things need to be easy. I've had people literally say, I didn't know you were meant to argue in relationships. I thought if you argued, it's bad. The arguments are healthy because they pave the way. They build the building stones for how you guys are going to grow together.
Yeah, it's an initial sort of airing process. You're airing out a difference in thoughts, but it's then how you continue on from that. Do you let it grow into something negative and huge, or do you, as you say, pave the way into something positive and have an outcome?
Exactly. And this, because people don't talk. This is what me and Josh, I think I'm going to connect you with Josh. He's someone that you need to speak to. Josh is a bodybuilder as well, but he's basically changed his ways and changed his outlook on life. and how he is as a person. He's taught me a lot of how I can go forward as a person to analyze myself in a situation, that if there is something in the relationship that I'm doing wrong and I know that's an issue, is if I'm present in that moment to catch myself and start making those changes, I'm able to do that.
Yeah, makes
So
sense.
it's having those people. He's now a mentor to me. So again, he's someone you need to speak to, but he's helping me even grow further. And I'm always going to be that student.
Yeah, absolutely. I love speaking to sort of inspirational speakers, people that speak inspiringly as well. So absolutely. So I talk a lot about mental health. Anyone that knows Mindkite. We talk a lot about mental health and mindset. Basically, every part of your journey that you've discussed with me has had to involve some sort of growth mindset. I just want to touch on, and you've been in the army and things like that. So just want to touch on any sort of personal experience you might have had through, mental health, or if you can elaborate a little bit on the sort of mindsets and what's important to you in your journey.
I think one thing that was with me for a while, which was instilled with me from the army, was being able to detach from things. What that helped me, and that served me for a while, but it actually was a big learning point for me of an area that I needed to change. So that being able to recognize what I was doing at that point in time, to know that for me to grow and step as a change as a person, is I need to consciously make this decision to change it. So I went through a stage, again, as all young lads do, and you hurt a lot of people on the way with just emotionally, because you're just a young lad, and I didn't like that person I was being. So for me, that was a big thing to get myself past. Then I went through things of where was the next step? Again, traveling. Coming over traveling was the scariest thing in the world, because I had no idea where I was going to go. I had no idea what to do. I was literally going to wing every bit of it, and I did. But it was that unknown. I think it was being able to take that ledge and that step forward into the unknown of going, mate, this is the only way you're going to grow. Like I used to, in the mines, you always used to apply for a job in the mines and go, oh, I want a job as a truck driver. And everyone's like, have you had any experience? You're like, well, no. How do I get experience in the mines? It's like, well, you need experience. But how do you do it unless you try it? So I took the leap and I jumped. I went. I was like, I've got to try this thing. And every experience that I've had has helped me grow to who I am now. Like I've never been crushed by a truck. That was brutal. I've had, again, the point I went through a stage from my previous relationship is I went through a state of depression. Like I went dark to the point I almost lost my thing in the UK. I had literally no money left. And this was only going back end of 2017, I think it was. 2017. I was literally bawling my eyes out in my underwear, eating Ben & Jerry's, going, what the hell do I do with my life? But that was my next change. That was, the universe will throw at you, like when you're facing a moment, an obstacle that you have no way forward, everything's closing on you right now, this is it. It's actually the universe showing you your next step to grow. It's being able to embrace that moment and go, okay, what am I learning from this? Or just grab it and go, you know what? I know this is going to work out in the end with something else. Because in hindsight, you always look back and you go, that's what that was for.
I speak about this formula a lot. I speak about this formula and I say it's disruption. And from disruption comes transformation. And from the transformation, you're left with a decision or a choice, because you transform, whether you like it or not, you transform inside yourself. You're evolving into something. There's an education there. There's a process there that you have to embrace. And then that's what leaves you with the choice. What are you now going to do with that transformation? Are you going to turn your disruption and your pain into a PowerPoint, or a power that will serve the world and yourself?
Exactly.
I think you're a prime example of that,
No, thank you, man. I mean, look, the biggest thing that I've learned is it's a thing that I use with my clients. It's called my 10-5 rule, but it's that using that rule has helped me make decisions, stick to the decisions, and make a move every time.
Tell us what that rule is.
So basically, it erases decision fatigue. So What this is if you're cloudy, you're foggy, you have no idea what you're doing with life at the moment. You're like, okay, I just don't know which way I'm going. I want to go this way or this way. Call it. Which way, what's going to have the biggest outcome? Okay, this one, cool. You made the decision. That decision's made. Then if you're struggling to go towards that, you count down from 5 and you go towards it. You don't stop. Your decision's made and you've literally taken that step forward to it and you follow through with that. Every time it starts off hard, it starts off difficult, but it's that promise to yourself. It's that promise to yourself to go forward every single time. And it has. There are days where you don't want to go to the gym. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, boom, I'm up. I think I heard this, the original rules from, I think, Mel Robbins. She changed my life with that. Now I have moments here where even in bed, I'm like so tired. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, up. I'm going to stand in a cold shower. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, in. I'm going to go here. I'm going to do this. Like whatever it is, I take that step. And that has been one of the biggest things of me going forward.
I think I seen Mel Robbins talking on something similar, and she was saying motivation's a lot of crap. Just do it. Like you don't need to be motivated. You just need to do it. You know.
Well, this is it. Clarity comes from action. With clarity coming from action, the only way you're going to get clear about something is to do it. Absolutely. Like I'm going through something now, which is like another step for the business, which I'm okay, cool, let's go for this. And there are times where I'm like, oh my God, it looks so complicated. But it's like, there's only one way you're going to figure this out. Click on buttons, let's work it out, let's go our way through. And that's how you build it up and build it up and build it up. And it snowballs. But you have to be that persistent of going, okay, I'm going to go here. This is what I'm starting. And let's go. Even setting alarms on your phone for you to get distracted, like little bits to help you do it. Chip away. I'm not going to lie. I'm not the fastest learner. I'm not. So there are ways that I have to do it. And for me, I'm one of those people that learns by doing. So I've just got to do the thing.
Yeah, I'm the same, and even myself and my business partner Robert Heisey, we're very poor at focusing for a long period of time on things, and we have to do things and chip away as you've just said. So you're absolutely spot on. And so tell me, what does the future hold for you now? I mean, I know you're out in Thailand, and I want to talk a little bit about your business you set up. If you want to tell us a little bit about that, I don't mind.
Future for us. So now, as I said, we're both growing our online businesses. As I said, beautiful wife, she's doing her career change coaching, and she's also helping me kind of kick my ass to keep myself going as well. It's basically where we want to be is ideally working with 10 to 20 clients max, so we can really focus our energies on those people and really make sure we're giving everyone the most attention possible. We've got, I said, with my business, my side of things, I look from everything from the nutrition through the neurotype training. So I program around what their actual personality is like, so they enjoy their training. I keep everyone checked in with photos, making sure everyone is on point. I have literally daily things and habits for people to do to start instilling, because I don't just want people to learn to get fit for 3 months and that's it. I want to be able to make sure you understand what nutrition is, make sure you understand what your training is and kind of how you can do your things. But then this is it. But also change your mindset. People, it's a whole different mindset. Like the biggest thing, which is hard to face sometimes, is if someone doesn't want to do something, they're actually not going to do it. So you can't sit there and try to convince them. If someone is in that state, they go, oh, okay, I'll do it, but they're not really in it, they're going to fall out. So I don't work with people like that. I make sure I know exactly who I'm working with. And being able to, oh, how do I put this? Being able to have that opportunity to be able to actually tailor my clients down to be those helpful people that I want, that I know that won't work out, is amazing. And that's a part of the journey. That mindset has also been able to help people in everyday life, which is what I want. I want you to be motivated in this. I want you to have that mindset of writing a journal, doing your gratification, doing your affirmations, doing breathing techniques, doing things to better you, giving you self-love, and then helping you grow out of that and to your own person with a new form of confidence. Yes, a new physique, a new mindset, and just a new outlook on life. So that's why I like to do for people, because it's more than just lifting weights and eating right.
I think that self-love as well that you spoke about, men don't speak about that often enough. And I think it's important. Like you need to reach in inside yourself, and self-development and self-worth is massive.
Men need to get in touch with their feminine side. Look, a younger me would not have said this thing. Younger me looks at my Facebook and goes, why the hell did I ever write that? Like, younger me didn't have this kind of look at life. Again, being with Maria, she's helped me find who I am sexually, which has allowed me to then grow as someone, to be very comfortable with who I am. I love Disney films. If we're watching something and there's an emotional scene, if she's bawling her eyes out, I'm usually having a cry too. I wouldn't really call myself a princess or a diva, but I have my little moments where I can be a bit of a girl. And this is the thing is, I speak my emotions. If I'm going to cry, I'm going to cry. If I need to talk to someone, if I need to get something out, by God, I will grab you on the side of the street if you're the first person I see that I need to talk to. Like, it's just, men need to be open. It's this whole thing of, oh, my granddaddy wouldn't let me do this, and my dad didn't do this, and they didn't get their emotions out. How did their life end up? How would they? Do you want to be like that? Do you want to be that person that isn't able to talk? Because you've seen them unhappy, yet you're going down the same path. How about you talk? And this is the good thing about Clubhouse. We get people in there. We have conversations which could lead to anything. We had one yesterday with Freaky Friday, with people coming and telling their story, and it led from stories from A to B to some deep emotional stories to a bloke who has literally jumped out of a plane that many times and had his parachute not open, so he's had to use. It was crazy, these stories. And it's given that people that platform to come and talk about it. So I encourage men to come do it.
And I've said this a lot of times, and I've had outcry before, but I don't actually believe there's a stigma attached to the way men should be. I think it's the wrong communication. We don't talk, and we allow ourselves to talk in a certain way. You know, we talk about sports and the boxing and the gym, and we keep the conversation so rigid. It's our own fault. It's not a stigma. We just don't open up our conversation to more. And it's our own fault for doing it.
You know what? Every man should watch RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yeah,
every man needs to watch that. And this is it. I watch it every night with Maria. I'm literally, we're sitting there betting over who's gonna stay. But that alone, the messages that RuPaul gives to people, the stories you hear from these people of guys who have gone through absolute hell and have become that alone, if you can watch that and you can start to accept people in yourself and go, okay, it is right to cry. It's right to have this emotion.
It's funny you touched on that, because I actually bought 2 domains. I bought www.drag.club and I bought www.dragact.club just because of that show.
Wow.
Just because of that show. And it's good that you brought that up. Okay, so 2 final questions for you. One of the questions is, if you could go back to, that 20-year situation, or anyone that might be listening that's going through sort of the stuff you went through, what would your key advice be to that person if you were standing in front of yourself going back 20 years ago?
You need to prioritize self-love. If you can't love yourself, how you can love anyone else is so true. You need to be happy with yourself, because otherwise you're going to go into situations that you're not comfortable in doing, and you're going to go into experiences that aren't for you. So you need to give that self-love to you. You need to be able to say no to people. You need to be able to have that energy or have that little spark to go, I'm going to try something different. Because if we stay in our shell and we go and are too worried about what people are thinking about us or anything like that, we're not going to change. We're not going to evolve. So give yourself self-love and stop the big one. Stop worrying about what everyone else thinks of you, because people are mirrors. If they're seeing something in you that they don't like, it's a reflection on themselves. So understand that everyone is on their own journey. Like, if you take a moment to actually fully breathe and look at someone that may be acting erratically and be like, okay, cool. Like, I remember a time I was acting erratically. I remember I was going through so much, and no one else would have known what it is. You're now witnessing someone doing something like that. Show that compassion to that human, and let that. You don't have to, like, whether you say something to them or not, or whatever it may be, understand that everyone is their own person. Everyone's doing their own journey, and everyone's got their own shit they're dealing with. So it's having that compassion towards people. I think those are the sort of areas I'd be around, because a lot of that wasn't me when I was a lot younger.
Yeah, it even resonates with myself there. So my second question is, a lot of people become shy when it comes to sort of telling their story and their inspiring stories. Like you've come on and you've been quite open and honest about your story, which, as I said, it touched me and I found it inspiring. So what I'm going to run in these type of podcasts is, at the end of it, I'm going to ask you to nominate one person that you think should come on the podcast in the future and tell their version of their inspiring story.
My wife.
Your wife. I'll absolutely...
Babe, you've just been nominated to come and do the podcast at some point.
Is he ready?
No, not today, but at a different point in time. But yes, there you go. You got your nomination.
Absolutely perfect. Listen, thank you very much. I'm absolutely humbled that you've come on and shared your story with us. I'm going to let you go and enjoy that beautiful background, your beautiful wife, and thank you so much. I really appreciate it, you coming on, and you've just been open, honest, and raw, and I feel I got so much out of you there, and I really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Jamie. Trust me, it's been amazing. I've really enjoyed being able to come here and talk, and I really hope it helps some people.
I think it's even just helped me, just the honesty behind what you've said. So thank you very much, and I really appreciate it.
Anytime, Jamie. I really appreciate today.
All right, mate. Thank you very much. I'll see you again.
Thank you, brother. Cheers.
Take care. Thank you.
Bye.